When you think about a chess grandmaster, a master of a 1,500-year-old game, you probably picture someone quiet, intense, maybe a little formal. But what if one of the best players on the planet, a 5-time US champion, saw himself as something else entirely? Well, today we're diving into the story of Hikaru Nakamura, a guy who is truly living in two different worlds and honestly reshaping the very soul of chess. And this quote right here, this is really the heart of the whole thing. For one of the highest-rated players in history to say this, it's kind of revolutionary. It's not just a job description, you know? It's a bold statement that the ancient game of kings has found a new digital kingdom, and he's the one wearing the crown. So how did we even get to this point? We're going to trace his journey, starting with his incredible rise as a prodigy. Then we'll look at how he conquered the traditional chess world. After that, we'll dive into his massive online empire, touch on the controversies that come with it, and finally, try to figure out what his legacy in these two worlds really is. Okay, let's rewind all the way to the beginning. Hikaru was born in Japan, but he moved to the United States when he was just a toddler. He picked up chess around age 7, and it became obvious almost immediately that he wasn't just a good player, he was a genuine phenomenon. I mean, just look at how fast he rose through the ranks. It's just incredible. These aren't just stats, these are youngest ever records. And get this, at just 15, he broke the record for youngest American grandmaster, a record held by the legend himself, Bobby Fischer. So right from the start, he wasn't just walking in the footsteps of giants, he was literally outpacing them. And that early promise? Oh yeah, it was the real deal. It translated directly into years and years of elite success in traditional, over-the-board chess. You know, the face-to-face kind with all the pressure and a real clock ticking right beside you. His resume is just staggering. We're talking 5 US championships. He's the reigning champ in Fischer Random, a version of chess that's all about pure creativity. And his peak rating? 2816. That puts him in the top 10 highest-rated players in the entire history of the game. So let's be clear. Before he ever switched on a webcam, Hikaru was already a titan of the traditional game. And if you want to understand just how big of a deal his wins were, just listen to Garry Kasparov. When arguably the greatest player of all time has to go back over a century to find a victory that compares to yours, you know you did something special. It wasn't just another win. It was a truly historic moment for American chess. Okay, so while he's dominating the physical board, this whole new world is opening up online. And this is the second world he would conquer. He basically pioneered what it means to be a digital chess superstar, mixing that elite grandmaster-level play with pure entertainment. I mean, just look at these numbers. It's wild. We're talking millions of subscribers on YouTube, millions on Twitch. He was one of the very first grandmasters to get signed by a major esports team, TSM. He didn't just find an online audience. He was a huge part of creating that massive chess boom we saw during the pandemic, reaching people way outside the normal chess circles. And yeah, that online empire is incredibly successful. A couple years ago, a conservative estimate put his annual income at over $2.2 million. For a game where prize money can be pretty tough to come by, Hikaru just completely changed the game. He proved that streaming could be just as profitable, maybe even more so, than winning tournaments. And all that success is built on his unbelievable skill. He's not just an entertainer, he is a stone-cold killer at the board. And he knows it. In his own words, he thinks he's one of the best online Blitz players ever. It's that mix, world-class talent and this magnetic online personality, that makes him the undisputed king of digital chess. But, you know, when you have one foot planted in the old world and one in the new, you're bound to stir things up. Hikaru's unique spot has put him right in the middle of a big generational clash that's really testing the traditions of the game. And the irony here is pretty incredible. During that whole Hans Niemann controversy, Hikaru used his huge platform to talk about statistical analyses that suggested cheating. Well, a year later, former world champion Vladimir Kramnik started pointing to his own interesting statistics about a winning streak of Hikaru's, suggesting something fishy was going on. Now, this isn't about who was right or wrong. It just shows how Hikaru is at the very center of this modern chess drama. And now, he's been on both sides of the accusation. It really makes you wonder, what's going on here? Is it just drama between players? Or is there something bigger, some deeper divide between the old guard and this new digital generation? Well, a lot of it comes down to just how different these two arenas are. Traditional chess is slow, it's physical, it's played in these super high security rooms. Online chess, especially Blitz, is this rapid-fire war of instinct and mouse speed. Hikaru himself has said that online is probably harder because it needs this totally different kind of hand-eye coordination. And that difference can definitely breed suspicion between players who came up in totally different eras. And in the online world, even the king isn't invincible. It's a wild, unpredictable place. The sheer speed of it all means that anything can happen, and shocking results can come out of absolutely nowhere. For example, in one pretty stunning upset, he actually lost to a much lower-rated player who opened the game with this totally bizarre, unconventional move, and in the chaos of a super-fast online game, it worked. It completely caught the king off guard. It's just a perfect little reminder that in the digital arena, you can never get too comfortable. So when you put everything together, the classical champion and the streaming king, what does it all add up to? What is Hikaru Nakamura's ultimate legacy? Well, I think it's fair to say he is the face of modern chess. And you can see his dual mastery perfectly just by looking at where his money comes from. Look at how it's split. You've got the traditional stuff like tournament winnings right there next to massive chunks from streaming and YouTube. He didn't pick one world over the other. He found a way to conquer both at the same time. His impact is absolutely undeniable. He's the one who really bridged that gap between pro chess and mainstream entertainment. He made chess cool for millions of new people and legitimized it as a real esport. At the end of the day, he completely redefined what a career in chess could look like, and he created a whole new path for the next generation to follow. Which really just leaves us with one last big question. Is Hikaru the new blueprint for what a 21st century Grandmaster is supposed to be? Is he the future, or is he something completely unique, a once-in-a-generation hybrid who just happened to be in the perfect place at the perfect time to straddle both the analog and the digital worlds? The answer to that is probably going to define the next chapter of this ancient game.